welcome to my channel. My name is Krizia, and yes, I know I'm not wearing a lot of makeup, but there is a reason for that. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve my everyday natural makeup look. Personally, I'm not a fan of natural makeup. I like false lashes, I like dramatic looks, but I am too lazy to apply that type of makeup on every single day, so I resort to a look like this. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with using false lashes, using black eyeshadow, contouring your face every day, so this look is for those people out there. My everyday makeup routine is a little bit different in the sense that I use a powder foundation. I find that a lot of people use liquid foundations or cream foundations, but personally, I like powders. So hopefully today you guys will be convinced to use powder foundations and realize that they are so much more efficient for an everyday basis. But without further ado, I will be showing you guys how to achieve this makeup look right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply my moisturizer. Today I will be using the Clinique Moisture Surge Intense Skin Fortifying Hydrator. The key to my everyday foundation is still looking luminous and dewy despite using powder foundation. I find that using this type of moisturizer that's a little bit heavy really helps with achieving that look. Next, I will be applying my concealer. I will be using the Prolongwear Concealer by MAC in the color NC20. Yes, I'm using concealer underneath my foundation, and that is because I will be using a powder foundation. When it comes to powder foundations, you want to apply all your cream products underneath of it and then go in with the powder. If you apply cream products on top of the powder, you might end up looking super cakey and just not cute. So definitely apply all your concealers, your creams, anything you want underneath the powder and then go in with the powder. So as you can see, I applied a ton of concealer and there is a reason for that. The powder foundation that I will be using today doesn't have a full coverage, so I like getting that full coverage with my concealer underneath of it. So although this concealer doesn't match my skin, basically, it really doesn't, it's not going to matter because I'm going to be putting the powder foundation on top of that to get more coverage and color correct the concealer. So it doesn't matter what color the concealer is, honestly, because I'm going to be covering it up anyways. I'm really just using it for the coverage. I'm just going to blend out the concealer with my Beauty Blender sponge now. Now that I have concealed my face, I like to set that with a powder. The powder I like using is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder. It's just a translucent powder. The only areas of my face that I will be setting is my under eyes. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the powder foundation to cling onto my under eyes because I want to keep that looking as light and natural as possible. Now it is time for the foundation. Like I said, I will be using a powder foundation today. The reason I like using a powder foundation on an everyday basis is because it's a little bit more natural and it's so much quicker to use. Also, I don't like wearing too much makeup on an everyday basis because I'm kind of lazy, and using a powder is so much quicker and easier. The key to using powder foundation is using a denser brush. The denser the brush, the more product you are going to get on your skin. The brush I like using is a MAC Kabuki brush. It's the MAC 182 brush. As you can see, this brush is super dense and just has a ton of bristles to help pack on that color. The powder foundation that I love using is the CoverFx Pressed Mineral Foundation in the color G40. So how I apply my foundation is just swirling the brush in the powder and just pressing it onto my skin. When you press onto your skin, you're going to get much more coverage than you do rubbing it. Plus, if you rub it, you're going to remove all the concealer that you have put on beneath it, and it's just going to go to waste. So make sure you pack on the color first, and then you can start buffing things in. As you can see, this foundation doesn't give crazy coverage, which is fine, because this is supposed to be a natural everyday makeup look, and this is what I like wearing. The next step is to brighten my under eyes up a little bit more because I found that the foundation kind of took away that brightness from my concealer. In order to brighten my under eyes, I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Eye Brightener Well Rested Concealer. I just like taking that on a fluffy little tiny brush and applying that underneath my eyes. I also like brightening up other areas on my face as if I'm highlighting them, so I like brightening up my center of the forehead, my nose, and my chin. As you can see, I'm looking much more brighter than I was before prior to using this powder. But I am also looking super pale, so it is now time to bronze up the skin. The bronzer that I will be using today is my trusty Hula bronzer and a big fluffy brush. I'm also high-key over these birds, and I'm just going to keep them in this footage because I have to stop every single time they chirp, and that's literally every single second, so sorry. There's going to be birds chirping in the background of this video. On an everyday basis, I don't really contour my face, so I use my bronzer in order to do that. So I'm just going to take my bronzer on a big fluffy brush and apply it to where the sun would hit naturally, and also focus on the areas I like to contour as well. I'm looking quite bronze already, but I could always use a little bit more bronzer. And I'm also super extra, so I like using a second bronzer. The bronzer that I like adding on top is the bronzing powder by MAC in Refined Golden. This bronzer is a little bit darker and shimmery, so it's really going to give me that sun-kissed glow that I like having on an everyday basis. I'm going to take this bronzer and apply it on top of my Hula bronzer to give a little bit more dimension and color. I'm just going to apply it on my forehead and my cheeks. Since we are finally bronzed, it is time to apply some blush. The blush I like using on an everyday basis is the Becca Mineral Blush in Damselfly. I'm going to apply the blush on the apples of my cheeks and bringing it back toward my cheekbones, and also onto my temples and forehead. The reason I'm applying it onto my forehead is to really blend the blush into the bronzer and the face, so it doesn't look like I just have blush on my cheeks as opposed to having color all around my face. I'm looking super dry and kind of gross, so I need to highlight my skin. The highlighter that I will be using today is Becca's Champagne Pop. I like applying my highlighter on my cheekbones, my temples, the nose, and my Cupid's bow on an everyday basis just to give some sheen all over the face. My skin is basically complete, and this is all I do for my skin with an everyday makeup look. But I am going to do a little bit with my eyes. Usually on an everyday basis, I don't apply eyeshadow. I don't really care to. I just really do my mascara and my eyebrows. But some days I do like adding a little bit of something just to bring more dimension and focus to my eyes. Like I said, I don't like using eyeshadow on an everyday basis, so I like using a bronzer. The bronzer I like using as eyeshadow on my eyes is the Hula bronzer, which I used on my face. The reason I like using a bronzer on my eyes is because A, you don't have to buy any new product, B, I like really warm tones on my eyes, and C, it's really going to tie the whole look together because you're using this product on multiple points on your face. But before I apply the bronzer all over my eyes, I like using the Nars Smudge-Proof eyeshadow base all over it. So I just take the primer and apply a couple swipes all over my eyes. And there are the birds again. Woo! I love them. Next, I apply my bronzer all over my eyes, stopping a little bit above my crease. I don't really apply this super carefully. I just take it and do a wash of color, which is exactly what I want it to look like. Next, I just run the bronzer underneath my eyes with the same fluffy brush, super messily, just to create a shadow underneath of my eyes. I like highlighting my eyes just as I did with my face. I like using the same exact highlighter, so I will be using Champagne Pop by Becca and applying that in my tear ducts and also brow bone. So the eyeshadow is complete. As you can see, it's just a little bit of a wash of color in order to bring some attention and definition to my eyes. We are now moving on to brows, and I always keep the same exact brow routine whether I'm doing a dramatic look or a natural makeup look. I always use the Anastasia Dipbrow in dark brown and the Anastasia clear brow gel. I am just going to fill in my eyebrows pretty naturally and just normally. I don't really like a super strong brow. My brows are far from being perfect right now, but I don't really like focusing too much time and attention on them when it comes to an everyday makeup look, just because I like using that time to focus on my lashes, which are more important to me than my eyebrows. Before I apply my mascara, I always think it's important to apply some Fix Plus, especially since I have used so many powders and my face is just looking super dry. It looks like I went down a water slide right now. My face is soaked, which it's kind of a look I'm going for, you know? tutorial's over. We're done. While my Fix Plus is drying, I'm going to wait to apply my mascara, so I'm going to start working on my lips. On an everyday basis, you can catch me wearing some Aquaphor healing ointment on my lips as lip balm. Now that my face has dried and I have done my lips, I'm going to start working on my lashes. Honestly, it's sometimes easier to just apply fake lashes and glue them on and be over with it, as opposed to actually putting on mascara on my normal lashes. The first step to doing my lashes is taking a lash curler and curling them for about 30 seconds. The lash curler that I'm using is just a Tweezerman one that I bought at CVS. A part that I cannot live without doing my lash routine is using a lash primer. The primer that I like using on my eyelashes is the Dior Show Maximizer 3D Triple Volume Plumping Lash Primer. The way to apply a lash primer is doing it how you would a mascara. So you apply it on one eye and then you go straight in with the mascara on top of that. Before my lash primer dries, I'm going to apply my mascara on top of it. The mascara I like using on an everyday basis is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. I find that this mascara really lengthens my lashes and the volume comes from the primer. So having both the primer and this mascara work together gives me my perfect lash. The mascara is applied to my top lashes. I'm now going to take a different mascara and apply that on my bottom lashes. The mascara I like using on my bottom lashes is the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash. My mascara is complete and I kind of wish that I was wearing false lashes because I just like false lashes better than my natural lashes, but I would be lying to you guys if I said that I wore false lashes on an everyday basis. I know that I said I was finished with the lips, but I kind of want to bring a little bit more color to my lips just because they're looking a little bit dull. So today I'm going to be using the Dior Addict lipstick in 622 Confident. And this right here is my everyday natural makeup look completed. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, and at least learned something. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, comment, and like. It would really help me out. I will see you all in my next video.